Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's Mr. Candor coming with another video for you. I know I said that once I reached 100 subscribers that I would start putting out more videos. So it's been a little while, and so I want to keep that promise to you. So here's my video on my Spyderco knives. Now I used to have a lot more Spyderco knives, but I kind of whittled down the collection a little bit. I've given away some, I've sold some, so these are the ones that are remaining, and I hope I never sell. So first off, I'm gonna go with the Spyderco Chef here. You know, that's the old classic, you know. What a great knife. I do love the design, or at least most aspects of the design. There are some that I think can change, or I'd like to see change if they ever update this model. I'll tell you, I'll talk about a couple of those later. But for right now, this is still a great knife. I wouldn't call it a classic yet. I don't believe the design is that old, but to me it kind of is, since it was one of those designs, you know, kind of like the Slitch buoy, where, you know, they don't really make anymore. This one I think they still make, but we'll see for how long. But eventually it will be a classic, let's just say that. So one of the things I like is obviously the looks of it and the materials. I love that 200 LC or 200 LC 200N steel. It's you know, of course it is rust proof. You know, it's about as rust proof as you can get anyway. I love the titanium scales, the wire clip that they've got on it, all of that. Great knife. It's very smooth, even though it's on washers. So we'll just go with that. Now, some of the things that I don't like about this knife is, first of all, it's the fact that you can only access the clip, or not the clip, but the hole mainly from one side. You know, that one has got the lock bar blocking it. Man, you can access it. I mean, I can Spidey flick it, but it takes a lot of practice. Let's just say that. So that's that. Another thing I don't like about this is the way that tip is right there. This bad boy got caught in my pocket one time, and you know, the material in my pocket pulled the blade up like that. So when I reached my hand in there, got me just like this, and it got me badly, to where it got me to the bone, probably just as badly as the Kaiser Feist got me. Both of these are extremely sharp knives, but this one was first. This one bit me first, so I actually went several months without carrying this knife. But I did learn that, to me, this is not one of those knives that you really want to carry inside of your pocket. You can carry it clipped to your pocket, but I really don't carry this one loose in my pocket anymore. And, you know, as a realtor, you know, I kind of don't really walk around with the knife clipped through the outside of my pants. I mean, I probably could, but, you know, why alarm people, you know, when it's unnecessary. So that I would change. I would definitely probably bring that up a little bit, kind of like the Spyderco Caribbean. That's actually in my pocket. So this, you know, as you can see, doesn't quite come all the way to the end, but it does have that raised little bump there. So that's really one of the only things I would change. And I know it's part of the aesthetic, the fact that this blade goes all the way to the end of the handle. I mean, it really can't get any better or any more well machined than that. You know, that's very, as far as engineering, that's incredible. But yeah, that thing got caught in my pants one time while I was driving to work, by the way. So I literally had to hold my fingers like this to keep the blood from rushing out all over my truck, and turned around and drove home. So yeah, so from here on, from then on, you know, once I got over my hatred for the knife, you know, it was only temporary, but I started carrying it in my hitch and timber case here, and it fits in there perfectly. And, you know, I keep my little Hinderer investigator pin in there as well. And so I'll carry it like this. I really don't, like I said, I don't carry it loosely anymore. I kind of learned my lesson from that, even though it was user error. So since I already brought it up, I'll show you my my Spyderco Caribbean. This knife, I'm actually getting more pocket carry in this knife. Again, I already had it in my pocket, and so this one I really haven't carried around as much as I'd like to. It's one of probably one of the more function specific knives. I mean, as you can see, it's really wide and takes up a lot of real estate in the pocket. So I've taken this thing fishing on the coast with me, and I've gone fishing, you know, at the lake, you know, Lake Travis here around the Austin area. But it's really one that I really have to kind of make myself carry a little bit more. That, and it's the unusual color. You know, I showed it to my younger brother, the one who gets a lot of my my knives that I give. Yeah, the first question he asked was, "Does it come in another color?" It's like, no, this is the color you're gonna get. They may have another color by now, but at least at the time that he asked for it, no, and no, there's no way in heck I'm giving this knife to him, and he knows that. Very flickable knife. It's got access to the Spydey hole from both sides, unlike the Spyderco Chef. Now that's a plus in my book. One thing about this knife, as well as the Spyderco Chef, other than the matching LC 200N steel, of course, is the fact that both of them really come loose very easily. The detent, while good for flicking, it's perfect flicking, but they just come loose so easily, and that's only because I'm sitting down. If I was standing up, it would come out with minimal force, probably 90% of the time if I actually did that, you know. So that's one thing I would change. I may do something with the detent, but as far as the design, yeah, it's a great knife. Another thing about this one that I would change, and this is a personal preference because they do come in different blade shapes. I probably wouldn't go with the sheep's foot this time. If I had my choice, I'd probably go with the more of a leaf shape. You know, it's of course it's gonna look more like that. The reason why I say that is because this thing takes up so much space in my pocket. It's that the blade goes all the way to the end. One of the closest things I can think of would be I'd say this here, my American Lawman. You know, they're both pretty wide, flat knives. This one actually does take up a lot less space, just because it's just so much thinner. But that part, it actually tapers down towards the handle more so than this. But again, that was my choice, getting the sheep's foot. You know, I really did have fishing in mind when I got this knife. One other thing I would change, I would probably bring this closer to here. So that's what I kind of liked about the Spyderco Chef, was the fact that the blade and the handle had a better ratio. But again, I would bring that up just for safety's sake on the Spyderco Chef. This one, I know I'm being picky because I'm, you know, I praise designing one knife and then knocking in the other. I get that, and I'm not trying to be contrary, you know, when I say that. But yeah, I would take up more real estate, but keep that part of the knife, just for safety's sake. So moving on, I would this is one of my new favorites. I carry this what is it, the Spyderco Lightweight with the LC, with the Spy 27 steel. Really cool steel. It's held up. I've had this knife for a while. I don't actually baby it. I carry this knife when I'm working out, so it does get some salt on it, so to speak. You know, sweat. Super lightweight. Sometimes it almost goes into the washing machine sometimes, because I do sometimes forget that it's in my pants or my pockets. You know, because I wear shorts, obviously. This thing, I'll just pop it right into my pocket. It really doesn't catch on anything. The detent is really good on it, so it's not just gonna open up in your pocket like the Spyderco Chef. You know, as far as flicking it down, the detent is set very well. Of course, it's got that wire clip. Nothing else really to say. This it's a well-made knife, and I am happy with the Spy 27 steel. Let's see here. Got my PM2. Of course, this was one of my first Spyderco. I think it was actually my second. I think I got the Endura 4 first, and then I saw this one on Blade HQ. It was a Blade HQ exclusive, but I actually saw it first with when they used to have that host on their YouTube channel, the guy named Austin, and he was showing his private collection. And when I saw that knife, I was like, wow, I love those handles. You know, so that's what kind of got me into the Jade, you know, the Jade scale. So once I saw this knife, you know, I really did jump on it. I do have that Lynch clip there as well, and it has held up pretty well in the pocket. And there's really no scratches on it, you know, even though it's black. It's got that coating on the blade and the clip as well as the hardware. It's held up pretty well. No, I don't push it. I do carry it in the case sometimes. And this thing, it fits all kinds of knives, and it doesn't really get not distressed, but it keeps its shape pretty well. So yeah, even though I switch in and out different knives of different sizes. So so on that subject, I've got the PM3 here. Again, this one is one of my favorites too, for obvious reasons. It's got the Lynch clip on there also. Jade scales, both of them, this and the PM2 are both in M4, obviously, since it's got the Jade scales. That's how they're configured. I'd like to see the Jade scales with a different steel option. I know some people will actually switch them out, and you know, that's cool. I may try that one of these days if I get another blade steel. Maybe if I try crew wear or something like that. But it's crazy. This thing fits in the case just as well as the PM2, if not better. So I carry this in as well. Both of these, you don't want to go anywhere near rain or any water sources. I made that mistake of carrying this with me in San Antonio. I was on the river walk, and it just kind of rained. I didn't check the forecast, but man, by the time I got back to that hotel, it was rusted, like almost to the point of pitting. It surprised me because it was in my pocket, and, but that just goes to show you the M4 is a very corrosive. It reacts to corrosions pretty badly, so just keep that in mind. Of course, I'm sure most of you already know that. I was the only one who was dumb enough not to check the weather forecast with an M4 knife in his pocket. Again, I wouldn't try to work out with that knife in my pocket, or if I know I'm going to be sweating a lot. Just from experience, it's probably not the best idea. I met a guy who had a D2 knife, and he was talking about how his D2 just rusted. He was a big dude. He wasn't working out, but for some reason he described it as his pH, saying his pH would just rust that knife just looking at it. So that, to me, that M4 is almost the same way with me. So take that for what it's worth. Last but not least, I believe this was my first Spyderco, and still one of my favorites. It's that old-fashioned Endura 4 with the blue. I had another one in gray, and I actually sold the gray one. I had to make a choice. I was trying to, like I said, I was just trying to make space in my case before I bought another one, of course. And so I just went and sold it. But I still try to keep my collection slim and not let it get out of control. So I'll either give away knives or I've been selling them lately. But yeah, this knife right here, that leaf shape is great. It's got that old school lock back with the indention there, so that does help when pressing it. This right here, I wish that Cold Steel would adopt that. I actually had a Cold Steel. It was the Code 4, and I took a Dremel and put that in there myself. And you got to be careful, make sure it's even and straight. But it helped on that knife. But I sold that one. So anyway, I may do that with the American Lawman, but probably not. I may just keep this as a classic. This is one of my favorite actual cold steel knives. I've got the mini Lawman too. I just like the fact that it's that CTS XHP. That's a really cool steel. So so that's that. Not to digress, back to the Spydercos here. This one is a VG10, which is fine as far as budget steels. This is one of the better ones. This and I'd say 14C 28N. Both of those are really good budget steels. So if you ever see a knife like that and you're worried about the getting some super steel or something like that, both of those fine. 14C 28N, VG10, both of those are really cool. But as far as the blade shape, man, I use this for a lot of gardening, and it can just reach in there. Of course, it's got that flat blade, that flat grind, like a lot of these Spydercos have, which just makes them extra slicey. Even if you do lose a bit of the edge, that lack of resistance behind that bevel, I mean, it just keeps these things cutting and cutting. So that's a great design as far as blade shapes. I really don't mess with anything else anymore. I've got some some that are hollow grind, but I really don't look for a hollow grind knife. Like I said, I still have some, but if I have my choice, it's going to be a flat blade every time. Doesn't necessarily have to be a leaf shape, but I do like the flat grind. That's just the experience over the years. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. Time's running short, so go ahead and leave me a like, thumbs up, and thanks for watching. Bye.